Hi everyone, today we'll be continuing our journey through the Junior Penetration Tester path. What we'll be focusing on today will be content discovery. So what is content discovery? Firstly, we should ask, in the context of web application security, what is content? Content can be many things: a file, video, picture, backup, website feature. When we talk about content discovery, we're not talking about the obvious things we can see on a website. It's the things that aren't immediately present to us that weren't always intended for public access. This content could be, for example, pages or portals intended for staff usage, older versions of the website, backup files, configuration files, administration panels, etc. There are three main ways of discovering content on a website, which we'll cover, mainly automated and OSINT, open source intelligence. Start the attack box, which I've already done, and we'll continue working on this task. So the first question is obviously reviewing the content we just read through. What is a content discovery method that begins with M, manually? What is a content discovery method that begins with A, automated? And what is a content discovery method that begins with O, OSINT, open source intelligence? So that's pretty straightforward and simple. Done with task number 1. Let's move on. Task 2, manual discovery, Robots.txt. There are multiple places we can manually check on a website to start discovering more content. The Robots.txt file is a document that tells search engines which pages they are and aren't allowed to show on their search engine results, or bans specific search engines from crawling the website altogether. It can be common practice to restrict certain website areas so they aren't displayed in search engine results. These pages may be areas such as administration portals or files meant for the website's customers. This file gives us a great list of locations on the website that the owners don't want us to discover as penetration testers. Take a look at the robots.txt file on the Acme IT support website to see if they have anything they don't want to list. To do this, open Firefox in the attack box and enter in the URL below. So let's go ahead and do this. So we're going to copy this link. Switch over to Kali Linux. Let's double check that I'm connected to TryHackMe's OpenVPN, and I am. So let's go over here and paste and go. And so we have the directory that isn't allowed to be viewed by web crawlers, which is staff.portal. So we copy that, bring it back into TryHackMe, and that's our first answer. And that was very straightforward. Let's move on to the next. Manual discovery, Favicon. Favicon. The favicon is a small icon displayed in the browser's address bar or tab used for branding a website. Sometimes when frameworks are used to build a website, a favicon that is part of the installation gets left over. And if the website developer doesn't replace this with a custom one, this can give us a clue on what framework is in use. OWASP hosts a database of common framework icons that you can use to check against the target's favicon, and they list the website. Once we know the framework stack, we can use external resources to discover more about it. Practical exercise. On the attack box, open Firefox and open the URL. So we'll go ahead and copy this URL. Here you'll see a basic website with a note saying website coming soon. If you look at your tab, you notice an icon that confirms this site is using a favicon. Viewing the page source, you'll see the line 6 contains a link to the images favicon.ico file, which you see right here below. If you run the following command on the attack box, it will download the favicon and get its MD5 hash, which you can then use to look up on the owasp.org website. So let's go ahead and do this. So what we're going to do first is we're going to copy this command, bring it over to our Kali Linux, paste selection, hit enter, provided with the MD5 sum. I can copy that, go to the OWASP website, hit Control F, paste it in, and we see that MD5 sum is linked with CGIIRC, is linked with CGIIRC. So we can copy CGIIRC, go back to TryHackMe, And that's our answer. What framework did the Favicon belong to? CGIIRC. Unlike the Robots.txt file, which restricts what search engine crawlers can look at, the Sitemap.xml file gives a list of every file the website owner wishes to be listed on the search engine. These can sometimes contain areas of the website that are a bit more difficult to navigate to, or even list some old web pages that the current site no longer uses, but are still working behind the scenes. Take a look at the Sitemap.xml file on the Acme.it support website to see if there's any content we haven't discovered yet. So we'll go ahead and copy this link. And then the question is, what is the path of the secret area that can be found on the sitemap.xml file? So make sure we've copied this link. We can switch over to Kali Linux. Paste and go. And let's look for anything called secret. Here we go, at the very end, secret area. So we can copy secret area, go back to TryHackMe, and there's your answer, secret area. Task 5, manual discovery HTTP headers, hypertext transfer protocol headers. When we make requests to the web server, the server will return various HTTP headers. These headers can sometimes contain useful information such as a website server, software, and possibly the programming scripting language in use. In the below example, we can see the web server is NGINX version 1.18.0 and runs a PHP version of 7.4. Using this information, we could find vulnerable versions of software being used. Try running the below curl command against the web server, where the v-v's is verbose mode, which will output the headers. There might be something interesting. So what's the question first? What is the flag value from the X flag header? So let's go ahead and flip over to our version of Kali Linux. And the following command we're going to run is a curl. So we're going to curl http // and then the address of the attack box, which is 10.10.172.229, and we're going to do this in verbose mode. And what was the question again? The question was, what is the flag value from the X flag header? Here we go. The X flag header, THM header underscore flag in curly braces. And that is our answer when we go back to TryHackMe. Manual discovery framework stack. Framework stack. Once you've established the framework of a website, either from the above Favicon example or by looking for clues in the page source such as comments, copyright notices, or credits, you can then locate the framework's website. From there, we can learn more about the software and other information possibly leading to more content we can discover. Looking at the page source of our Acme IT support website, at the address of our attack box, you'll see a comment at the end of every page with the page load time and also links to the framework's website. Let's take a look at that website. Viewing the documentation page gives us the path of the framework's administration portal, which gives us a flag if viewed on the acme.it support website. So what is the flag from the framework's administration portal? So we're going to go ahead and copy this link, switch over to Kali Linux, paste and go. We're on the home page of the Acme IT support website. So in the instructions provided, we need to look at the framework website, which I have here. So we have nothing in home. Let's check changelog. We have some information here. And then what about here? Let's check. Here we go. Once you've installed the framework, navigate to the THM framework login path on your website. Let's paste this. Okay, so now we're confronted with a login page. You can log in with your username admin and password admin. All right, so from previously doing this, I had created my own account. We won't save this, and here is our flag. So we can copy this flag, bring it over into TryHackMe, and that's our answer. What is the flag from the framework's administration portal? OSINT Google Hacking / Dorking. There are also external resources available that can help in discovering information about your target website. These resources are often referred to as OSINT or open source intelligence, as they're freely available tools that collect information. Google Hacking / Dorking utilizes Google's advanced search engine features, which allow you to pick out custom content. You can, for instance, pick out results from certain domain names using the site::filter, for example, site::tryhackme.com. You can then match this up with certain search terms, say, for example, the word admin, site::tryhackme.com, /admin. This would then only return results from the tryhackme.com website, which contains the word admin in its content. You can combine multiple filters as well. Here's an example of many of the different filters. I've actually used this myself when I'm searching for different resources, and there are way many more advanced search features than these, and I would behoove you to learn about them, because it's really helpful when you're trying to narrow down specifically what you're looking for. And then they provide a link below that obviously gives you a bit more information. So the question was, what Google Dorking operator can be used to only show results from a particular website? And that's obviously site. Task 8, OSINT Wappalyzer. Wappalyzer is an online tool and browser extension that helps identify what technologies a website uses, such as frameworks, content management systems, payment processes, and much more. And it can even find version numbers as well. So what does the question ask? What online tool can be used to identify what technologies a website is running? Wappalyzer. OSINT Wayback Machine. Wayback Machine. The Wayback Machine is a historical archive of websites that date back to the late 90s. You can use a domain name and it will show you all the times the service scraped the web page and saved the contents. This service can help uncover old pages and might still be active on the current website. So obviously the question is, what is the website address for the Wayback Machine? And we just copy it right there and paste it in, and there's your answer. By the way, this is kind of fun. I found web pages that I made for my old business from years ago, like over a decade, and I had it. And that was definitely a trip down memory lane. GitHub, one of my personal favorites. To understand GitHub, you first need to understand Git. Git is a version control system that tracks changes to files in a project. Working in a team is easier because you can see what each team member is editing and what changes they made to files. When users have finished making the changes, they can commit them with a message and then put them back to a central location or repository for the other users to then pull those changes to their local machines. GitHub is a hosted version of Git on the internet. Repositories can either be set to public or private and have various access controls. You can use GitHub's search feature to look for company names or website names to try and locate repositories belonging to your target. Once discovered, you may have access to source code, passwords, or other content that you hadn't found yet. So what is Git? It's a version control system. OSINT S3 buckets. S3 buckets are a storage service provided by Amazon AWS, allowing people to save files and even static website content in the cloud accessible over HTTP and HTTPS. The owner of the files can set access permissions to either make files public, private, and even writable. Sometimes these access permissions are incorrectly set and inadvertently allow access to files that shouldn't be available to the public. The format of the S3 bucket is HTTPS, name of the bucket, .s3.amazonaws.com, where name is decided by the owner, such as TryHackMe-assets.s3amazonaws.com. S3 buckets can be discovered in many ways, such as finding their URLs on the website's page source, GitHub repositories, or even automating the process. One common automation mode is by using the company's name followed by common terms such as name assets, name www, name public, or name private, etc. So what URL format does Amazon S3 buckets end in? So that's the obvious answer is, where was it? .s3.amazon aws.com, and that's our answer. And in the final section, this one's a bit more interesting. What is automated discovery? Automated discovery is a process of using tools to discover content rather than doing it manually. This process is automated as it usually contains hundreds, thousands, or even millions of requests to a web server. These requests check whether a file or directory exists on a website, giving us access to resources we didn't previously know existed. This process is made possible by using a resource called word list. What are word lists? Word lists are just text files that contain a long list of commonly used words. They can cover many different use cases. For example, a password word list could include the most frequently used passwords, whereas we're looking for content in our case, so we require a list containing the most commonly used directory and file names. An excellent source of word lists that is pre-installed on the THM attack box is from GitHub. SecList with Dan Messler curates, which I've actually downloaded myself when I'm working on Hack the Box machines. Automation tools. Although there are many different content discovery tools available, all with their features and flaws, we're going to cover 3 which are pre-installed on our attack box: Foof, Derb, and GoBuster. On the attack box, execute the following 3 commands targeting the Acme IT support website and see what results you get. So we have one for Foof, Derb, and GoBuster, which I also as well have on my Kali Linux instance. So we're in a good spot. And so what are the questions what is the information they'd like us to gather? So let's look at the questions first. What is the name of the directory beginning with -mo that was discovered? And what is the name of the log file that was discovered? Okay, let's flip over to Kali Linux. Let's start off with Foof. Let's go ahead and copy the word list from SecList from GitHub. Hi all, and we're back. Realized I didn't have SecList installed on this version of Kali Linux instance. So we're going ahead and cloning it from the GitHub repository from Daniel Messler. And if we quickly cd into it, we can already see all the different lists that we can easily use when we're doing our enumeration and penetration. So the first command we're going to run is the foof command. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy it instead of typing it out, just to save a little bit on time. So this command will run and we'll give it a little bit, and once it's done, I'll continue the video. What is the name of the directory beginning with /mo that was discovered? So if we look after running the foof command, we can find that it was monthly. So monthly is the first answer. And then the next question is, what is the name of the log file that was discovered? So let's go ahead and run a second command, derb. So while derb is running, I'll also run the other command as well. Let's run GoBuster too. Once both of these commands are done, we'll check them out and see if they help us answer the question. So just to give you a quick comparison before we end the video, this is GoBuster and it's completed fairly quickly and gave us the list of the different directories as it was enumerating through the website that was provided by TryHackMe. If we look at derb, it's still running, but it has found a couple of the directories so far. And if we look at foof is found as well, some of the directories also. And so they all have different ways. They have their pluses and their minuses. Personally, I always used GoBuster. GoBuster is my main go-to almost 90% of the time. So I hope this is helpful for the quick comparison between the three. Keep studying. See you guys later.